Hello and welcome. Today I'll be doing a 2022 Senate election prediction. Today is March 6, 2021, and it's been a while since I've recorded a video. There's been a lot in the works for the channel and a couple more election nights in the makings. So, if you're interested, go check out my Twitter account. I post updates, other election information, polling. I'll link it down below in the comments section, and let's get started. So it's been a while and a lot has occurred since my election prediction video for the Senate back in, I think, December. We've had many occurrences. We've had the Capitol incident. We've had the inauguration. We've had a couple senators announce their retirements. We have now Rob Portman is going to be retiring. We have Ron Johnson retiring of Wisconsin. We have a couple candidates announcing their bids and more. So we're going to start off first with the safe Republican states: Utah, Idaho, Kansas, Oklahoma, North and South Dakota, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Kentucky, Indiana, Alabama, South Carolina. That brings the Republicans to 43 and Democrats 36. And for the Democrats, Washington, Oregon, California, Illinois, Hawaii, New York, Vermont, Connecticut, Maryland, and that brings the Democrats to 45, Republicans 43. These are most definite safe states for both parties. There's really 12 states that will be somewhat or competitive. Also, after my 2022 first Senate election prediction, we didn't know the outcome of Georgia. I knew it was going to be very close and ended up with Warnock and Ossoff picking up the seat, bringing the Democrats to a 50-50, and Kamala Harris being the majority factor for the Democrats in the Senate. Moving on to the likely Republican states, Alaska, Lisa Murkowski. She's relatively popular, but she has her popularity more near the moderates versus the more harder conservatives and conservatives in the party. She'll most likely face some kind of primary effort against her. That's happened before, and she's actually won in a write-in in 2014, I'm almost certain. In Iowa, we're still uncertain about Grassley if he is to retire or not, but if I were to bet either way, I'd still put the state in the likely column, probably between an 8 and 15% margin of victory. In Ohio, Jane Timkins announced her run. She, I think, will become the nominee for the Republicans out there, but it's going to be a while before we know. Tim Ryan, most likely to be the Democrats' nominee. Former presidential candidate for the 2020 election. He's also a representative from the state, but Ohio relatively moving farther and farther to the right. Went to Donald Trump once again by 8 points, and Rob Portman won the state by more than double digits. I don't see the state close in any aspect, really, unless there's really big faults in the Republican Party. Moving on, Florida, Marco Rubio, almost certain to be the Republican nominee, has ties both to the more Trump Republicans as well as the more moderate Republicans in the state. He won the state by a pretty large margin back in 2016, and I don't really see him having any problems. Ron DeSantis, also top of the ticket, going to help with more of the moderates as well and independents, so I don't really see any issues for Marco Rubio. It could drop into the lean column, maybe 4 to 5 points, but he's not going to have any issues out there. Bringing Republicans to 47, going to the Democrats, we're going to go to Colorado. New Hampshire, I'm not going to do in the likely because there's more going on there. I think that is all for the Democrats in the likely column. Colorado, could, in the 2024 presidential election, even go into the safe column of a 15-point more margin. Biden won the state by 13. Back in 2016, it went to Hillary Clinton by about 5 points, and it's just been rapidly moving farther and farther to the left. Depending upon what Republicans do and what candidates they run, isn't going to do much of an effort in Colorado. May narrow it to like a 6-7 point margin in this election, or slightly near the lean column. But I don't see any possibility of picking it up. Going back to the Republicans, I'm going to characterize the state of Wisconsin. This is really uncertain at the moment. We have Ron Johnson, which is still deciding if he's going to run or not. He has once said that he's going to retire, and he backed out of that claim, and now he's thinking about more retiring than running again. But I really do see Republicans going to be really trying to get him to stay in the race. In North Carolina, this one has looked like it was going to be close, and it's moving farther and farther likely for the Republicans going to win. And Predict It, which is a election betting site, it was once about a 10 cents margin or 10% margin of chance. Now it's over a 60% chance that the Republicans will be holding on to it. This is Richard Burr's seat that is retiring, and this brings the Republicans to 49 seats. Going back to the Democrats, we're going to characterize the state of Arizona for the Democrats. We have a pickup in the 2020 election, and I don't really see that the Republicans will be able to pick it up. They're really betting on many candidates right now, but they're not moderate enough, I don't see, to be able to pick it up at this time, depending upon the amount of money in the state. But we're still very early on. It's only month 2 into the Biden presidency, and not many major actions have been made in Congress. We had the $1.9 trillion package passed, but that was, I don't think it's going to weigh too much extra in their favor, but may pick up a couple independents. We're still about a year and a half away from the midterms, so there's time for many other occurrences to happen. Going into the state of Nevada, this state, it really weighs on who's going to run for the Republican side. We're still uncertain yet, but I'm going to give it in the lean for the incumbent. Going back to the Republicans, I am very mixed on my feelings about Georgia and what I think is going to happen there. It looks like Doug Collins, I think, will become the nominee there. Loeffler looks like she's going to run, but I don't think she'll gain the nomination after losing an election and having a close primary in the 2020 election. So I think that Doug Collins will win there, and it's going to be facing off against Warnock in a Republican year. I think that he'll narrowly be able to pull it off and flip the state. New Hampshire's very mixed too, if Sununu's run or not. If he does run, I really do see he's either going to pick it up in the lean or likely column, but it's still uncertain, and I'm going to characterize it for the Democrats at the moment in the lean column. I just wanted to wait on that state in particular, a very popular governor running or not. I think he'll run, but we're still uncertain about that. If anyone else to run, I don't really see New Hampshire being a pickup for the Republicans. In the state of Pennsylvania, Fetterman has announced his run for the Pennsylvania Senate primary for the Democrats. The Republican side is very mixed on who they're going to choose, and it looks like it's going to be a very close, hard-fought primary with a crowded group of people running. So I think at the moment in time, Pennsylvania will be tilting towards Fetterman. Depending upon who the Republicans get and if they're able to unite around them, more the establishment Republicans or more the Trumpian populist Republicans, we'll see what happens there. But at this moment in time, I really only see two changes, the Republicans picking up Georgia and the Democrats picking up Pennsylvania in a very narrow margin, leaving the Senate control for the Democrats. And we'll be doing more of a monthly update on the Senate now to keep up with videos, and I'm going to be releasing a governor election prediction soon, and hopefully the election nights will be coming out sooner than later. Check out my Twitter account and make sure to subscribe and like the video. Thank you for watching.